You're listening to WTJU Charlottesville. The Kluge-Ruhe Aboriginal Art Collection's latest exhibition is called In the Beginning, Paintings by Senior Artists of the Spinifex Arts Project. For Arts this week, we spoke to the curator, Katina Davidson.
My name's Katina Davidson. I'm a curator from Australia. I have spent 6 months working with Kluge-Ruhe as a curatorial fellow, which means that I'm tasked with curating an exhibition from their collection. I've been really privileged to be here, living here for 6 months on the land of the Monacan Nation, and I'm just really humbled by the experience of being here, so thank you. Back home in Australia, I work for a museum called the Queensland Art Gallery, Gallery of Modern Art, and I'm the curator of Australian Indigenous art there. This opportunity was advertised nationally in Australia via Creative Australia, which is our federal arts funding body. The reason why I wanted to apply for it is to really understand perspectives of Indigenous Australian art internationally. And Kluge-Ruhe is the only museum dedicated to Australian Indigenous art outside of Australia. So it's a really exciting opportunity to be able to come here and have a look at works in the collection and then really talk to the networks around art and culture here in the States. Curating for me, it's like storytelling. We're storytellers, but we don't share stories as much really through written language, but we share stories by pulling together groups of artworks and creating a narrative around that. The exhibition is called In the Beginning, Senior Artists of the Spinifex Arts Project. There'll be a public opening of the exhibition the 27th of March. The exhibition is comprised of 18 paintings from the Western Desert in Australia, which is a really large geographical area. Over the last year or two, there's been a really big donation of over 35 paintings from that region to Kluge-Ruhe. I've been researching about each of the artists and the artworks in order to create this exhibition, which will be on display for about a year. As part of that process, I've worked really closely with doing some consultation with Spinifex Arts Project, which is an art centre which all of the artists work in and work for. They've got a great studio there, and they also do a lot of artist camps, so people can kind of pack up everything, put it on a troopy, which is like a SUV kind of, with four-wheel drive capacity. So people kind of put, all their painting materials in. You might pack a swag, pillow and some blankets, and go out into the bush and do like a camp and create artwork before coming back to the studio and, maybe finishing off the painting in the studio. A lot of the artwork from this community, they're really colourful, quite abstract paintings which have a lot of texture on the surface. So whether they're dot work, which people might associate with Indigenous Australian art, but there's also, these really beautiful fields of colour, which I describe as kind of if you're driving along a road, you can see a beautiful horizon line, and you can see rain clouds in the distance, and you can see these fields of rain just kind of falling from the sky. One of the artists, Mr. Patchu Presley, he really is able to take these kind of inspirational cues from the natural environment and kind of create these built-up, dotted landscapes which kind of look like those bits of rainfall from the distance. But all of the paintings are really connected to place and country. And place and country are really important to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australian people, because that is the land that we come from. People might be familiar or semi-familiar with the term dreamings, and in this community it's called chukapa. So chukapa is that term which is all-encompassing, which covers creation stories about how people came to the desert in Australia and also how the landscape was physically formed, but it also determines social interactions and law and marriages. So it's this really kind of all-encompassing idea of how you conduct yourself as a person living in the world. And so all of the paintings in the show are informed by this chukopa, and also about different sites and locations within the landscape belonging to the Spinifex people. Spinifex is like a shrub that is in the desert and found in the sand dunes across, this really large expanse of country in Australia, which is also the name of the art centre, Spinifex Arts Project, and how people kind of relate to themselves in that area.
The opening reception for the exhibition will take place from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Kluge-Ruhe on March 27th. More information and gallery hours can be found at kluge-ruhe.org. That's KLUGE-RUHE.org. Arts This Week is supported by the UVA Arts Council and Piedmont Virginia Community College. PVCC Arts presents a rich array of dance, music, theater, and visual arts programming. Learn more at pvcc.edu. For WTJU, I'm Sage Tangway.